excited to be talking to you today, just ahead of this new, very big movie being released theatrically. Thank you for joining us. We'll look forward to talking to you again next quarter.
That was phenomenal. A lot of people are giving me some mixed signals here in the YouTube chat. It seems like a lot of people don't really understand what happened. AMC's earnings call was actually quite good. There was a couple of negative things, but people failed to realize that AMC did buy theaters. So naturally, that would cause a bit of a net loss. They bought a lot of theaters from companies that went bankrupt. Their total revenues grew to $968 million compared to $763 million for the third quarter of last year. That's over $200 million increase in revenue. Their net loss increased to $226 million compared to $224 million, a $2 million increase compared to the third quarter of 2021. But they weren't buying theaters in 2021 like they are now. In addition, their EBITDA decreased by $7.5 million to a loss of $12.9 compared to a loss of $5.4 for the third quarter of 2021 because there are much fewer movies currently, as Adam Aaron told us. But net cash used in operating activities was $223.6 million. Their cash burn was negative $179 million. That was negative $223 million as well for the net cash used. And they have $895.8 million in cash on hand, including $211 million of undrawn capacity under the company's revolving credit facility. In addition, some people fail to realize that paying off $250 million of debt is fucking phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. AMC may have about five or so billion dollars worth of debt, but there are many other companies that have over $100 billion of debt. So that's not really a big fucking deal. Companies operate with debt all the time. It is very fucking healthy for a company to have debt, especially when they are increasing their earnings per share, quarter over quarter, year over year, coming out of a pandemic. In addition, he said, exactly as anticipated and foreshadowed on our last earnings call, third quarter results were impacted by particularly soft industry-wide box office in the latter two-thirds of the 2022 third quarter, meaning that there was not a lot of movies, period. But even still, food and beverage spending grew by 12% and 30% respectively compared to the third quarter of 2019, before the pandemic even started. So more people are spending more money and buying more food and beverage at AMC. They continue with enthusiasm to return to a more robust film slate in fourth quarter. That means there's going to be more fucking movies. A lot of people fail to realize these things are very, very positive. Again, as well, coming up soon is something that a lot of people are unaware about and a lot of people fail to realize. Here, I did write, there's T plus 90-day liquidations. I made a mistake because it's not trading days. It's T90. It's just calendar days. Okay, they're 90-day liquidations when syndicates failed to deliver in the past. And in the past, Tesla squeezed to $2,000 per share 90 calendar days after their share dividend. Newegg squeezed to $77 per share 90 days after their merger. And Overstock had a crypto dividend distribution date of May 24th. And guess what? 90 calendars later, on August 20th, 2020, hit their all-time high of $122.32. FINRA Rule number 11880, Section B, the final settlement of syndicate accounts shall be effected by the syndicate manager within 90 days following the syndicate settlement date. Right there, it tells you clearly that it doesn't say within 90 trading days. It says within 90 days. That means calendar. What this means for people is that even though APE was not technically an IPO, but as a dividend, it did IPO on the ex-dividend date, which was August 22nd, 2022, if my memory serves me correct. And therefore, the selling syndicate was created, as those shares have to be moved from the issuer to the selling broker, to the broker-dealer. And they would still need to be delivered by the ex-dividend disbursement date rule of 90 calendar days from August 22nd. The 90 calendar day liquidation by lending brokers to the shorts would occur if APE hasn't been delivered by that date, around November 23rd, 2022. The shorts that need to provide the dividend in this case are the syndicate. The defaulting on the delivery of APE would result in asset liquidation and automated closing of positions. You can see it right here, directly from the NASDAQ glossary. NASDAQ.com, the selling syndicate is a group of underwriters that issues a firm's securities by buying them from the issuing firm and reselling them to a group of smaller brokerage firms, such the ones that you and I purchased or received our ape from, for eventual sale to individual investors. Therefore, a lot of people may not understand that a selling syndicate exists, but it absolutely fucking does, as proven here on FINRA Rules 11880, 4314, and NASDAQ's own glossary of the selling syndicate. During stock market crashes, heavily shorted stocks that are not owned in majority by institutions and market makers tend to squeeze violently. Like I just displayed to you about the 90-day calendar day liquidation, automatic liquidation of these positions from Tesla, Newegg, and Overstock when they had a share dividend, a merger, and a crypto dividend. In addition, 2008 stock market lows were created on September 28th, 2008. And on October 29th, Volkswagen hit its all-time highs. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether the price is going to go up or down on November 18th, 19th, 20, 21, 22, 23, and I don't really fucking care. However, I know that I'm going to keep my eyes on every single date, and I'm not going to be disappointed, and I'm not going to be a crybaby bitch, and I'm not going to be a little paper-handed bitch like David Portnoy, Portnoy, when things don't go my way. Because I didn't come into this looking for quick money. I came into AMC understanding that things are so over-leveraged with meme stocks, things are so bad, and banks are so poorly leveraged on these that at any moment, it will take a complete market collapse due to things like stable coins and over-leveraged hedge funds that will trigger financial runs.
And the terrible economic toll that it's taking and the terrible health toll.
Notice, known here. Watch this.
Looking more broadly,
if you haven't
what
seen
do
this
you
yet,
assess to be the most significant
we'll wrap up the video
risks
now.
or threats to financial stability?
I think there are threats to financial stability that have come from the growth of activity in the shadow banking sector. We saw some of those threats emerge during the onset of the pandemic. We have, for example, open-end bond funds that guarantee daily redemption, saw massive withdrawals by individuals who wanted to flee to cash, and that can trigger fire sales of assets with systemic consequences. The Financial Stability Oversight Council that I head has taken that up as a topic that we're looking at and examining. There are issues relating to hedge funds. And the possibility of leverage there that can trigger financial runs. That's another topic.
Oh, that's a whole nother topic. We're going to need a lot more time to talk about that. This was Janet Yellen testifying in front of Congress on September 28th, 2021 during the CARES Act congressional hearings. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Peterffy, the CEO of IBKR, when he was asked about GameStop, AMC, and costs being moved to position close only on January 28th of 2021, said, "I was scared of a domino bankruptcy. I tell you the rules require the long brokers to go into the market and buy the shares at whatever price. So that drove the shares up to 480, and then suddenly, I guess, it didn't go further. But it could have gone further. He had to stop himself from saying what he wanted to say. He said that suddenly we pulled the buy button. But he couldn't exactly say that because it would make IBKR, along with the dozens of other brokers like Robinhood and Webull that pulled the buy button, look really, really bad. Well, I'm the CEO of Lit Exchange, a soon-to-be released broker-dealer. We are not yet operational, and that is okay because we are taking our time in development. And all I got to say to that is we're going to be so fucking rich. God damn, I can fucking wait as long as I have to, but I have a feeling we're not going to be waiting very much longer at all. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence. That being said, I could post this in for everybody if you want to take a look at it, and you can find it on Reddit. It is known as the AMC, GameStop, and Precious Metals, Everything You Need to Know Complete Bull Thesis. There's a lot more to it, but this is as condensed as I could do it. It's about 50,000 characters, about 20 pages long, and it is pretty intensive. I could have made this 1,000 pages long. I honestly could have, but who would read it then? So we've got to be very careful in the amount in the ways that we actually share this information. On this one account, I've got about 8,000 shares of AMC, thousands more shares of APE, and then I've got multiple other accounts with other brokers, and where I've also got many thousands more shares of AMC and APE and brokers, and call contracts, especially AMC1. Now, some people may have forgotten or may have realized that things don't happen immediately. June 3rd, 2021 was the implementation of Executive Order 13959 as amended by President Biden. And what this means, it was a national emergency with respect to the threat from securities investments that finance certain companies of the People's Republic of China. On November 12th, 2020, by Executive Order 13959, the President declared a national emergency to deal with the unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the U.S. constituted by threat from securities investments that finance certain companies of the People's Republic of China. Today, President Xi Jinping stated publicly in a Daily Mail article that they are preparing for war. Taiwan will eventually be taken by China, especially as America is trying to reduce the amount of American engineers and the efficacy of the Chinese semiconductor industry. They will take the Taiwan semiconductor companies, and they have already stated clearly that they plan to do so and need to do it before these companies are able to be moved to the United States. The President of the United States found that the People's Republic of China is increasingly exploiting the U.S. capital to resource and enable the development and modernization of its military, intelligence, and other security, which continues to allow the PRC to directly threaten the U.S. homeland and United States forces overseas. The PRC increases the size of the country's military-industrial complex by compelling civilian Chinese companies to support its military and intelligence activities. Those companies, remaining ostensibly private and civilian, directly support the PRC, blah, 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 blah. So, the president found that the PRC's military-industrial complex, by directly supporting the efforts of the PRC's military, intelligence, and other security apparatus, constituted an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States. On January 13th, 2021, just a couple weeks before the January 27th and 28th run-up of AMC and GameStop and COS and many other meme stocks, President signed Executive Order 13974, amending Executive Order 13959, which came to be known as Executive Order 14032, expanding upon the scope of the national emergency declared in this EO 13959, as amended. Biden said, "I found that additional steps are necessary to address the national emergency, and including the threat posed by the military-industrial complex of the PRC and its military intelligence and research programs, and weapons-related production under the PRC's military-civil fusion strategy. In addition, I found that the use of this Chinese surveillance technology outside the PRC and the development or use of Chinese surveillance technology to facilitate repression or other serious human rights abuse constituted unusual and extraordinary threats to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States. And I, Joe Biden said, expanded the national emergency to address those threats. EO 14032 amended 13959 and revoked 13974. I know a lot of people didn't understand that back in June when we were talking about that. I know a lot of people thought that because we said that we're going to be rich by executive order meant that we were going to be fucking moassing on June 3rd of 2022, but that's absolute fucking nonsense. Nothing other than a major black swan will cause a proper market collapse. We need more dominoes, and they will continue because it's inevitable. It's unstoppable, as you guys are seeing every single day on the news, on Twitter, everywhere you look. At the gas stations where there's no diesel, at the oil fields when there's under 22 days of actual petroleum reserves in the United States, at the voting booth when none of the fucking voting booths are actually working properly because it's all manipulated. Ladies and gentlemen, you will continue to see this take a downturn, and we will eventually see these companies be completely unusable as collateral in the future. As of now, there's been a variety, in my opinion, of swaps and futures contracts and options that have been taken out to hedge against the loss of this collateral. And that's the only reason we have not seen this actually happen yet. When you combine all these things with new ISDA Phase 6 requirements and the Phase 5 requirements that came into play last year as well, wrap it all together, the fact of the matter is that hedge funds are not having the liquidity that they had for the last several, even for the last decade. To the point where you're seeing the reverse repo go up to $2.2, $2.3 trillion every single day as a federal government overnight bailout that was instituted, that was taken over by the Fed on September 19th of 2019, just a few months before COVID was actually before the whole COVID fiasco. Let's just put it that way. Okay. And I know a lot of people may find this hard to believe, but the vast majority of issues that went on with COVID and the reason that it was taken so seriously and overblown by the United States government and central banks around the world was because it was the only way for them to actually be able to legally print the 40% of all money in existence that they've done so in the last 24 months. They could not do it without a national emergency of this sort. Believe what you will. I don't fucking care. I know the facts. And I know a lot of other people do as well. And the fact of the matter is that these national emergencies declared in these executive orders, for now, are being skirted around. But it won't last for long. Just like Phase 6 requirements and just like ISDA contracts, when ISDA contracts do expire and then need to be rolled into newer ISDA contracts, it will not be something that will be able to be done, because once those contracts expire, and they expire all at different times, because there are weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, every 3 quarterly, annual, biannual, and even 10-year, 20-year, 30-year ISDA contracts available. As they expire, the newest contracts that are created will not be grandfathered into the old regulations. Therefore, liquidity is drying up. On that note, unless anybody else has something to say, all I fucking know is we're going to be filthy fucking rich. And I can wait as long as it fucking takes. Are you fucking fatigued? Because I'm not fucking tired. I'm not fucking tired in the slightest. And I can wait as long as it takes for Ken Griffin and Jerome Powell to get the goddamn money printer out and pay me my fucking money. When that happens, you will see a collapse of banks and financial institutions. And at that moment, Jerome Powell will bail them all fucking out. Sadly, many people will lose their pensions and 401ks, but I didn't cause that. You didn't cause that. We are not the cause. We are the cure. Plotkin and these other hedge funds, these other pricks, pardon me, I was about to say some nasty shit, are the ones that invested these 401ks and pensions and thrift savings plans and ISPs and IRAs into short positions. We did no such thing. All we did was buy stocks that we love and that we hold. It's not my fault. But if buying and holding breaks the system, maybe the system was already fucking broken to begin with. I wish you peace and wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be filthy motherfucking rich. God damn, we're going to be fucking rich. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. People think this shit's a fucking joke. That's the TLDR, man. It's the fucking TLDR. That's all it is. Jesus fucking Christ. You know what? I got a fucking song. It's a damn good one, too.
You're gonna be so rich.
Thanks, Phil.
So rich.
Thanks, Phil, for real. Appreciate you, brother.
So goddamn rich. We're gonna be so rich. We're gonna be so rich. We're gonna be so rich. So goddamn rich. Get that money, printer. Yelling, yeah. Get that money, printer. Kenny, ha. Get that money, printer. James Powell, get that money, printer. Yeah. Yelling, never telling, but she always fucking selling. BS, she don't wanna see us. Let her fall, free us on Powell. I can foul, ton of dough in the towel. Dark money, bringing power. Reverse repo by the hour. Money, bands, shoot, tickers, plenty, booms, plenty, strippers, 80 moons. I'm a tipper, I am the butcher. I won't sticker in increments through the late exchange. I am the butcher, bringing the name when it's over. Please remember that name like a ran through dice. Now I'm walking the same. Damn, you're gonna be so rich. so goddamn rich. Get that money, Fred. Yelling, yeah. Get that money, Fred.
Oh, shit.
Kenny, ha. Get that money, Fred. Yeah, Jay, yeah, Powell, yeah. Get that money, Fred. Yeah. Go get my shit, man. I'm not playing with you, motherfucker. Go get my motherfucking money.
Stable coins and over-leveraged hedge funds are fucked. They're going to come out with CBDCs, and they're going to be backed by this. Silver and fucking gold and other precious metals. That's their only fucking chance. And they're going to say that they saved you. They're going to say they fucking saved you and that they've got a solution. And it's going to be the central bank digital coin. They're going to be able to take your taxes right out of your fucking paycheck. Your child support, anything you owe. If you're not following their regulations, you're not going to be able to make a purchase at the fucking grocery store. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're properly fucking hedged. Do your own goddamn due diligence. I'm fucking done. I'll see you later. I'll be around sometime. As you guys can see, I only stream when it's important. Otherwise, I might not stream for a fucking week or two if I don't feel like it, because this isn't my fucking job. This is my hobby, because I fucking love this, and I just want to warn people of the morons out there on mainstream media that are like Jim Cramer, that are trying to talk you into selling your positions. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you, do your own fucking homework. Peace. And wealth.
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I'ma get a scholarship to King's College. I probably shouldn't brag, but dag, I'm amazed and astonished. The problem is I got a lot of brains but no polish. I gotta holler just to be heard with every word. I drop knowledge. I'm a diamond in the rough, a shining piece of coal, trying to reach my goal. My power of speech unimpeachable. Only 19, but my mind is older. These New York City streets get colder. I shoulder every burden, every disadvantage. I've learned to manage. I don't have a gun to brandish. I walk these streets famished. The plan is to fan this spark into a flame. But damn, it's getting dark, so let me spell out the name. I am the ALEXANDER. We are meant to be a colony that runs independently. Meanwhile, Britain keeps shitting on us endlessly. Essentially, they tax us relentlessly. Then King George turns around, runs a spending spree. He ain't never gonna set his descendants free. So there will be a revolution in this century. Enter me.
He says in parentheses.
Don't be shocked when your history book mentions me. I will lay down my life if it sets us free. Eventually, you'll see my ascendancy. And I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. It's time to take a shot.
I dream of life without a monarchy. The unrest in France will lead to anarchy. Anarchy, how you say? Oh, anarchy. When I fight, I make the other side panicky with my shot.
Yo, I'm a tailor's apprentice, and I got y'all knuckleheads and local parentes. I'm joining a rebellion, cause I know it's my chance to socially advance. Instead of sewing some pants, I'm gonna take a shot.
And but we'll never be truly free until those in bondage have the same rights as you and me. You and I do or die. Wait till I sally in on a stallion with the first black battalion. Never another shot.
Geniuses, lower your voices. You keep out of trouble and you double your choices. I'm with you, but the situation is fraught. You've got to be carefully taught. If you talk, you're gonna get shot.
Bird, check what we got. Mr. Lafayette, hard rock like Lancelot. I think your pants look hot. Lawrence, I like you a lot. Let's hatch a plot blacker than the kettle calling the pot. What are the odds of God will put us all in one spot? Pop in a squad and conventional wisdom, like it or not. A bunch of revolutionary manumission abolitionists. Give me a position, show me where the ammunition is. Oh, am I talking too loud? Sometimes I get overexcited, shoot off at the mouth. I never had a group of friends before. I promise that I'll make y'all proud.
Let's get this guy in front of a crowd.
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot.
Everybody sing.
imagine death so much it feels more like a memory. When's it gonna get me? In my sleep, 7 feet ahead of me. If I see it coming, do I run or do I let it be? Is it like a beat without a melody? See, I never thought I'd live past 20. Where I come from, some get half as many. Ask anybody why we living fast and we laugh, reach for a flash. We have to make this moment last. That's plenty, scratch that. This is not a moment, it's the movement. Where all the hungriest brothers with something to prove went. Foes oppose us, we take an honest stand. We roll like Moses, claiming our promised land. And if we win our independence, is that a guarantee of freedom for our descendants? Or will the blood we shed begin an endless cycle of vengeance and death with no defendants? I know the action in the street is exciting, but Jesus, between all the bleeding and fighting, I've been reading and writing. We need to handle our financial situation. Are we a nation of states? What's the state of our nation? I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every action's an act of creation. I'm laughing in the face of casualties of sorrow. For the first time I'm thinking past tomorrow. And I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country, I'm young, scrappy,